Alright, welcome back to another episode of Rod Talk. First part, I'll be covering the preliminary goings over of said rod, and I will merge this video with the accompanying part of the welding. So, a little while ago, I purchased a tin of old welding rods off of eBay. It was labeled as a barn find, $6.27, I believe, for the tin of them. I'll get to what I contain here shortly. There's not a huge amount of information on this, but I was able to get some on it. Let's open this end. Net weight 10 pounds. Alloy Rod Company, York, Pennsylvania, which is my home state. Arc welding electrodes for every alloy and mild steel requirement. Steel. Important. The electrodes in this all steel moisture proof container represent the best that can be obtained in welding quality to ensure keeping these electrodes in the same prime condition as when they left the factory. Replace lid firmly after removing the electrodes required for the immediate job at hand. Made in the United States of America. And down the bottom, Ohio something. Another word starting with O. I tried to scrub this off with hot soap and water before I started this. Definitely no longer contains 10 pounds, and the previous owner did not keep the lid on. On the bottom, it's incredibly hard to make out anything, whether on camera or just by looking at it. I think this is 3/16. I'm going to guess the 3/16 inch. You know what? I say that, but these are like 1/8 inch diameter electrodes. One moment. I'm going to grab a... No, I have the drill card for different drill bits. I always kept it handy for sizing welding rods. That thing seems to have vamoosed, unfortunately. I think I've heard something fall back there. No, that's probably what it was. Nah. Oh well. It's 1/8 inch diameter. I do have some 3/16 inch bar stock I just recently bought for my overhead open root stuff. I mean, they look like they're 1/8 inch. Now, I did find one larger diameter electrode in there. That I would not be surprised if it was 3/16. But, hard as it may be to see, bottom of the can sure looks like it says 3 slash... It's really hard to tell. There's a 1 and it's almost like an 8 or a 3 or 6. It's so badly rusted, it's almost impossible to tell anymore. I can make out the words arc, alloy. That might be York. It's incredibly hard to tell. I see the words ME. And I was using a buffing wheel, my grinder. I managed to remove enough. You can see those numbers. Looks like a 1013. At first, I thought it was going a 7013, 6013, but this is not an AWS designation in coordination with the rods. It must have been the part number for the Alloy Arc Welding Company. Now, a little bit about the company itself. Give me a quick second. The company was founded... How do I hear? 1944, turning from March 21st, 1944. And Fred D. Bovey, who had a career in different welding companies, including Airco, I don't remember he was in McKay or not. He worked at the Alloy Rod Company in 1980, and in 1988, him and a partner bought out the company and sold it to ESAB with all its rights and equipment. So, from what I can tell, that's what became of it. Anything else I can find on it is like, it's interesting. Its old location on Google Maps is labeled as fictitious names, and I believe that title was filed for it as of 2007. Probably because the company is defunct and no longer exists, because probably it has the name archived under it for posterity reasons, but as the plot of property no longer applies to it. So here they are. For the most part, they're in pretty poor shape. I can weld on bare metal with bare metal rods, albeit that's not the ideal situation. There's probably maybe half a dozen, maybe less, rods that still have all the complete flux intact. 5 or 6 of them. So I'll be using them and probably some of the older rods to test in the part that I converge with this. Yeah, that, and then there's this, it looks like a 5/32 of the same kind of rod next to all the 1/8 inch. It's really hard to tell. Along in the container was, I was going to say it was a piece of old torch solder, lead torch solder at first. So they have some of that. And it's a square, and it tapers a little bit from top to bottom. I don't know. Seems like a piece of old metal stock. Shoot. Well, broke pretty easy. It's like cast metal. It is rusty, but goodness knows what that was for. Maybe that was some sort of torch filler as well. These rods are at least probably, I'm going to guess, 60 years old or older. That's the estimation here. Along with that, I found some very old 7018s mixed in with it. Flux is crumbling off these. It's not focusing, is it? Fortunately, I'm having to use this. There we go. 7018. You see the flux is busting off some of those. No designation. Aside from that, this 7018 printed twice. And there's 2 more of them, each in progressively worse condition, until you get to this one. As well, you can see, if there were a barn find, this is probably on a farmer's property or something. Who knows? Oh, camera meandering, my bad. So I have a partial burn stub here, and a smaller stub was in the can as well. Actually, the end of that where it burned off is still fairly shiny. And this one, man, it's got a little bit of stuff burnt off it, I think. If that was straightened out, it would still be a little shorter than normal ones. But this one probably got stuck on something or bent. And infuriated as a person might be, slapped the electrode holder around, bent the thing up. But I don't know that. So, follow-up to this will be coming here shortly with the welding of these said rods. It should be pretty interesting.